Well, they just told me that I'm the hardest puncher that landed a punch. He felt it. You know, in defeat, you got as fighters, we fight. It's just one on one. It's not like a basketball team. You get an off day. You could substitute another player. It was just this was my night, and man, Gennady's a hell of a puncher. He every punch was the same power, and that surprised me. But what surprised me the most was his. I thought he would come more forward, pump the jab, and I was waiting for something else, and he showed up a completely different fighter.
Go ahead.
Vanes, you've been inactive for 2 years. Last time was in May of 2016. Do you believe if you had been active would have been a different outcome to this fight?
I think so. I think it would have been better. I could have shown my ring rust was my timing was off, as you see, when I was trying to land the right hand. My timing was off. We only had 2 weeks. We were in good shape to go 12 rounds, but the timing just wasn't there. The ring rust it shows. Being a fighter, you got to stay active, and the 2 years really did affect me.
You said before that you're gonna slide with it. You're gonna go forward. If you can do it again, would you do it differently now?
A little bit, I try to box him a little bit more. The thing is, like I said, going into this fight, I wanted to see what this man had, and I told him if he gets me, I'll respect him. I'm a fighter, and if you ask me to fight him right now again, I'll fight him again. It's not about winning and losing. I'm a fighter, and I was born a fighter, and I just want to keep fighting. But he did surprise me a lot. His power. I wanted to see what he had, and like I said, I would give him props if he gets me, and he got me. And Gennady's a hell of a fighter, and he has a really good team from from his promoter to his coaches. They have an excellent team.
Obviously, this was a short time for you to prepare. And what would you say to the next contender for Golovkin? Perhaps Canelo Alvarez?
Canelo has a lot to prove. I see why he's eating that kind of meat, because I see why he's trying to get the extra edge. The man is the real deal. 36 years old and he's still fighting like that. He is the real deal. I've faced a lot of fighters in the gym. I've actually sparred with heavyweights, cruiserweights. Every single power he landed, every single shot was the same power, and that kind of got me. And then he is, like my coach had a different game plan. He wanted me to box more and move to the right. But just the fighter in me, I just wanted to see what the guy had. I went inside to brawl with the guy, and he got me good. Good for him.
So what would you say to Canelo then, if that's the case?
Just run. Run, buddy,
more.
run.
How good is Golovkin in comparison to all those other top-level fighters you fought?
If you see, what surprised me honestly is people say, the last two fights when he fought Danny and then when he fought Canelo, people were saying, he's declining, and I said the guy still has the O on his record, so why would he be declining? As long as he doesn't have a loss on his record, he's not declining. Just because styles make fights, Danny came into the fight. I feel like those guys that came into the fight, like Canelo and Danny, I feel like they came to go 12 rounds. They didn't come to really win the fight. They just wanted to go 12 rounds to show the world they can go 12 rounds. Danny actually did a really good job. Canelo ran from Gennady. I think if Canelo stayed in front of Gennady, he would get knocked out cold. Gennady, like I said, I congratulated him. He told me, his team are telling me that he says that, I'm one of the hardest punches he's faced. And that guy hits like a train, and every single punch is like a train. You can't stop the guy. He's a machine, and he's really good.
And then, did you evaluate Gennady the same way that Vanes did? Is he better than you thought he was?
Yeah, definitely. Gennady has an amazing jab, and I was surprised today. Vanes did good. In the first round, he was staying away from the jab, and Gennady came in there aggressive, trying to take Vanes out, which was pretty smart. Wanted to engage with him because he's the bigger guy in here. He's fought a lot of bigger men than Vanes. Vanes is a 54-pounder. So, I give Vanes a lot of credit. He should keep his head up. And Vanes naturally wants to engage. I told him don't hook with this guy, but he wanted to, stand there and bang some shots with him, and he got caught. But, Gennady is a hell of a champion, and when I went to training camp to watch him train, the guy throws a jab as hard as people throw their right hand, So the guy could punch, definitely. His jab touches people, they start thinking twice where they are, in the ring. Who am I up against? Once that fighter feels that they're defeated already, and I see that he defeats people like that. But today, he didn't land a lot of jabs on Vanes, in the first round. He wanted to come in there and make a statement. He felt the stronger and bigger guy, and he used the skills. He was tilted a little bit to stay away from Vanes's right hand, which is smart. He didn't come so squared up, because Vanes's right hand, he's got a hell of a right cross. He throws it very long. So Gennady was smart enough to stay, his left shoulder forward and stay away from that right hand, even though he got caught in the first round a few times and felt the shot. But it went his way. I think he's the bigger guy, and Vanes will be a hell of a champion at 154 if he learns from this. We needed time to do that. I can't make a person that loves to fight and wants to. Vanes was telling me in camp, I wanted to see how hard he hits. I was like, the guy hits hard. I've been there in camp, I know he hits hard. I've seen him spar, people spar with a chest protector with him, that there's a reason for that. The guy punches people in the arms and they can't spar the next sparring session with him. They have to, Abel has to get 3 sparring partners instead of 1. There's a reason for that. So, but, as a fighter, he wanted to engage in there, and he did. He wanted to show what a short amount of time, preparing, he could still show his courage and heart, maybe people will give him the credit and he could be back on HBO, and he did that. I think Vanes showed his heart today. I believe that he should keep his head up, and he did great. But of course, I would want him to box and move, and for us to have a chance, to get a decision, for him to catch him in the later rounds, drop him, see if Gennady is 36 years old and does slow down within the rounds. I wanted him to move. I said, don't get too excited. You caught him in the first round. Move and box, a little bit. Use your legs. Vanes got great legs, but, he's Armenian and hot-blooded, and I think when he gets hit, he wants to bang it out. So that's what happened.
All right, we're going to let Vanes go. We have Cecilia coming in a second.
Before you go, I just want to say a few words, because I appreciate everything that you said. You spoke from the heart, and so did Edmund. And, I really have to commend Edmund and Vanes. We were under the gun when we were on a very short time frame, and Don King called me, and there was no hesitation. He said Vanes wanted to fight. I have a relationship with Edmund from before, and I texted him. He said, yeah, Vanes is ready to go. He's been training. He was the favorite to beat Soleski, who just fought Danny Jacobs last week. So he had been in training camp. He had a couple fights fall out. Vanes was very hungry. And Gennady has more respect for the way Vanes fought, because he really fought. As Edmund hit it right on the head, there's a way, to fight, and there's a way to survive. And we felt the last 2 opponents for Triple G who went 12 rounds really fought to survive. Very safety first. And, Gennady respects what Vanes did in the ring. Vanes came out to fight, hit Gennady a few times in the first round, and, he made it a fight. He made it an entertaining fight. Vanes, I'm sure, could have ran for 12 rounds as well, and it would have been an unattractive fight that didn't capture anyone's attention. And this was an exciting fight, really fitting for Cinco de Mayo, for the fans out here at the StubHub Center.
Thank you, guys.
Thank you, guys.
Thank you, Tom.
And happy Cinco de Mayo to all the Latinos. Thank you, guys.
With that, we'll bring out Cecilia Brækhus, making her HBO debut, first fight as a champion here in the United States. Put on a tremendous fight. The funny thing was, Cecilia was the one that picked out Kaylee Reese as an opponent. She said, if I'm coming to America, naturally this was supposed to take place on the undercard of Triple G and Canelo in Las Vegas. But this was as credible of a fight to warrant being on HBO. It was kind of an opportunity that was created. Chocolatito wasn't available as the co-feature. He was the original person slotted as the co-feature. That opened up the door for Cecilia, and you saw the talent of Cecilia and, frankly, of Kaylee Reese. Kaylee Reese came to take the titles, and hitting Cecilia with a couple of those big shots that she did. You can tell she was very hungry. And she fought her heart out. Cecilia shows why she's the only undisputed champion in the sport of boxing. Her technical skill, I think.